শাকিন
হ্যালো,
কোথায় আছিস?
কিরে কি অবস্থা তোর?
এই তো, তুই কোথায়? তোকে তো দেখি না। ভিতরে আয়
আমি
তুই।
বাইরে।
ক্লাস কি বাইরে থেকে করবি?
ভাই আমার পাশে এখানে আপনারা সবাই আসতে পারেন, আমার পাশে এখানে আসতে পারেন। এ ডিমের কথা কমো, ডিমের কথা কমে ডিম আছে। হ্যাঁ, সিদ্ধ করার ঘটনা, সিদ্ধ করার ঘটনা
কিরে দেশে
দরকার আছে, আমার দায়িত্ব নিয়ে।
দেশে
আমার কি শুনবে
ওই দেশে
বন্ধু? মাহমুদুল
বল।
বন্ধু, আমি বাইরে যে বাসায় যাইতেছি, রাখের কাজ করি, দেখছো রাত জায়গায় কাজ করা লাগে।
এত টাকা কামাই করতেছস, কারে খাওয়াবি এত টাকা?
রাত জায়গায় কাজ করতেছি, দেখছস।
এত টাকা কারে খাওয়াবি?
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, আমি তোর একটু পরে ফোন দিচ্ছি বন্ধু।
আমি কি তোরে ফোন দিছি?
আচ্ছা তাহলে আমি একটু অফলাইন। বন্ধু কালকে কি ক্লাস হইব না? কিরে কালকে কি ক্লাস হইব নাকি হইব না?
হ্যালো, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। দোস্ত, আমি থাকতে পারবো না, আমি একটু ব্যস্ত আছি, মানে বলিস আমি একটু বাইরে আছি, আমি জুমে ইন করে আছি, ঠিক আছে? তারপরে ম্যাডাম আসলে তুই একবার বলে দিস, কারণ তুই বলে গেলে ভালো হয়। আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে।
Assalamualaikum, ma'am. Assalamualaikum, ma'am. Hello, assalamualaikum, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello, assalamualaikum.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Can you
Assalamu
hear
alaikum,
me?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We are hearing.
Assalamualaikum, ma'am.
Hello.
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 Assalamualaikum, madam.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamualaikum, madam. Yes,
Walaikum
ma'am.
We are hearing. We are listening to you, ma'am.
Madam.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. We are only hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Why?
I'm sorry. It's a network problem.
Yeah, ma'am. It's okay.
Uh, okay. Today, now we will study just.
Assalamualaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum Assalam. How are you?
How are you? I'm fine.
I'm
And you,
not
ma'am?
good. I'm not good.
Why, ma'am?
Why?
I'm suffering from eye infection. Or it's very difficult for me for taking class, but it's necessary.
So sad.
So sad. May God bless you.
Thank you. S-
Welcome.
okay. Today we will study like nucleotides and nucleic acid. Okay.
Ma'am, शुरू करें?
जी बिल्कुल शुरू करें.
Okay.
Kindly translate. औरों को भी तर्जुमा बताते जाओ. ये ना समझे पता नहीं क्या बात हो रही है. एडमिन बेचारे को इतराज ना करें. Okay. Just wait. Just wait. Okay, first of all, let me share you. Okay. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you get it?
Yeah.
Hello. Assalamualaikum, ma'am.
Hey, some problem.
Ma'am,
Somewhere.
I am Syed Ariful Kimel.
So, how many friends are here?
Ma'am, I am Syed Ariful Kimel. I am outside in my home, ma'am. I cannot contribute.
Himel,
Just wait.
you
Just
don't
wait. let me take the attendance first, okay?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, now I am outside of my home. Uh,
Who is talking? Who is talking?
I am
Ma'am,
Saud Ariful
Saga.
female.
Hmm?
Saud Ariful Haq female.
Arif, are you talking?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Arif talk.
Yes,
Ma'am,
yes.
now I am outside of my home.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to my home with my office. To my office. Please consider for me.
Okay.
Just
So
give
you
me.
will not take the class?
Yes, ma'am.
কতক্ষণ পরে
Okay. Don't worry. Okay. Let
I
me share
collect
you the page. Let me share you the page. Okay. Okay.
I collect lecture sheet. Please, ma'am, consider for me.
Okay. Okay. No problem. If you will have any problem, then you may ask me.
Please, ma'am, my attendance.
Shakin,
Yes, ma'am.
make sure next time your mic and your video cam will
Ma'am,
be on.
I was trying to connect. My headphone was lost for a few minutes.
Okay. Okay. No problem. Arif. Okay. So,
ম্যাম শাকিন
mom,
হামেশা লেটই থাকে, লেট শাকিন হামেশা লেট
no
ভার্সিটি
problem.
লাইফ
No
লেট
problem.
তার
No
লেট
problem. Buri baat. Don't say like
कोई
that.
कोई बात
ऐसे मत
नहीं
बोल यार।
क्यों नहीं बोलूंगा
क्योंकि तू मेरा अच्छा दोस्त है।
ओके
Oh, I can understand. Shakin, I can understand whatever you're saying.
Ma'am, Saurabh is my one of best friend.
So only 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 students.
1 2 3 4 no ma'am there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 students and
Wait.
Ma'am, Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Ma'am, how are you doing today?
Wait. Just wait. Rakibul Islam. Rukun.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Ma'am, I was last class present, but last time internet problem.
You know, internet I have also internet problem. It's
Yes,
not a
ma'am.
major issue.
yeah ma'am India
But
Everywhere
I was present, ma'am.
Okay. So should we start?
yeah sure
Absolutely, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, sure.
So all of you have this sheet.
yeah
Yeah, ma'am.
some basis
Yes, ma'am.
some basis
Wait. Shakin and Mayadul. Okay, I just forget to write down his name. Mayadul. I'm so sorry, Mayadul. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 students are here. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So in this topic, we will study about nucleotides and nucleic acids. Okay. So
And kindly subject name but subject code.
what?
আচ্ছা এটা
হ্যালো সালামালাইকুম ম্যাডাম,
Walaikum assalam.
ভালো আছেন ম্যাডাম?
Walaikum assalam.
বাংলায় বললে বুঝবে। হাউ আর ইউ?
biomolecules, ma'am.
Yes.
Biomolecules.
Yes.
Subject biomolecules.
Animesh.
I am not well.
Okay, let me share you again. Okay, do you have a sheet?
Yes.
Animesh, do you have a sheet?
অনিমেষ দা, আপনার কাছে কি শীট আছে?
No.
Okay, let me share again. Okay, so we are talking about some basics.
Some basis.
Yeah, the amino acid sequences of every protein in a cell. First of all, I would like to say something, students, that whatever I teach you,
Yes, madam.
whatever
Yes,
I teach.
ম্যাডাম,
Yes.
ম্যাডাম,
Yes.
আমাদের ওই যে টপিক্স কোনটা? টপিক্স
Nucleotides and nucleic acids.
নিউক্লিক অ্যাসিড।
Yeah, I have shared you.
ওকে ম্যাডাম, ওকে।
Have you get?
ইয়েস,
Have you get?
Yes, ma'am.
Animesh, do you have
Yeah,
such
yes.
sheet?
হ্যাঁ, ইয়েস ম্যাডাম।
Okay. So first of all, I would like to say something that whatever I teach you, and I will make your paper from this. Okay, I will not take anything from like
ওকে ম্যাডাম,
other books. Okay, I will make your paper from this. So whatever I shared you, do study and do concentrate on this topic, on this sheets. Whatever I send you from first class till last class.
ওকে ম্যাম।
Okay.
ইয়েস ম্যাডাম।
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. So we will start. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Some bases like the amino acid sequences of every protein in a cell and the nucleotide sequences of every RNA is specified by a nucleotide sequences in the cell DNA. As you know that what is the RNA, the basics is amino acid sequences of protein is in a cell. Is a nucleotide sequences of every RNA. So the nucleotide sequences in the cell is a DNA. Okay, and what is the DNA?
ডিঅক্সিরাইবোনিউক্লিক অ্যাসিড।
ডিঅক্সিরাইবোনিউক্লিক অ্যাসিড।
Okay. Just say one by one. Okay. So okay. So a segment of DNA molecules that contains the information required for the synthesis of a functional biological product. Whether proteins or RNA is referred to as a gene. Typically has many thousands of genes and DNA molecules, not surprisingly, tends to be very large. So the storage and transmission of biological information are only known as known function of a DNA. So you can say, what is the DNA? What's the DNA? Mohammad Hassan.
Sorry, ma'am.
Mohammad Hassan, what is the DNA?
DNA,
DNA
deoxyribonucleic acid.
sequence.
So one by one. I'm asking from Mohammad Hassan.
Yes, DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, but
Okay.
the amino acid sequence of every protein is called. The nucleotide sequence of every RNA is the specific. By nucleotide and sequence is the cell's DNA.
Okay. And what's the function of DNA, Shakin?
Ma'am, DNA is the structural unit of animal
Function.
or
I'm talking about function. I'm asking what's the function of DNA? Just look at the cam. Just look at the camera.
yes, ma'am.
You're giving the exam of master's level, so you will have to know what's the function of DNA.
Ma'am, carried out of genetic information.
Exactly. Good. You will see. You have seen the answer. Then tell me.
No, ma'am, not.
Sure.
No, ma'am, I'm just fixing my camera when you ask me to
Okay.
looking.
Ma'am,
Okay.
one time you call me DNA is an information molecule.
Because the all information like a genetic informations and all the systematic informations are carried out by the DNA, so it's called as like international. Okay.
Yeah.
So a segment of a DNA molecules that contain the information required for the synthesis of functional biological product, where whether protein or RNA is referred to as a gene. Agar hum DNA, sorry, if we are talking about the DNA molecule, which have the information which is required for the synthesis of the functional biological product, whether a protein or RNA, and which is the biological product is known as a gene. So every gene has a DNA in which the all process information is carried out by the DNA. Okay. So our cell typically have many thousands of genes, and DNA molecules, not surprisingly, tends to be very large. The storage and transmission, just note down, highlight this sentence. The storage and transmission of biological information are only known function of DNA.
DNA.
Exactly. And a segment, just look at the third line, third row, a segment of DNA molecule that contain information, and highlight also this. Just highlight these sentences.
Yeah, a segment of DNA molecules
Yeah, that contains information
comprise from
required for the
nucleus
synthesis
of
of functional biological product.
biological product.
Yeah, product, whether a protein or RNA is referred as a gene. From here,
Tropically has many thousands of genes.
okay. Now RNA have a broader range of functions, and several classes are found in cells, like RNAs, ribosomal nucleic acids,
RNS.
RNAs. So are components of our ribosomes. The complexes that carry out the synthesis of protein. Just wait.
Messenger RNS.
Sorry, I did have a problem in this eye, so I'm sorry.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so as a component of ribosome, the complex that carried out the synthesis of proteins. So messenger RNAs, mRNAs, are intermediate, and it is carrying out information, the synthesis of protein from one or
For the
few genes
synthesis
of
of
ribosomes.
protein.
Yes. So mRNAs is a messenger mRNAs.
Yeah.
Okay. Messenger mRNAs is a mRNAs, And the function is, this is carry information for the synthesis of a protein. Okay, when protein synthesis comes out, so messenger RNA carry the information from one gene to the another gene. Okay, during protein synthesis. Okay, during protein synthesis, the information is transferred from one gene to another gene, is carried out by the messenger RNAs. Okay, and the ribosomal RNA is the data component. Ribosomes complex carrier synthesis of a protein. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So transfer RNA is a tRNAs. It's the abbreviation of transfer RNAs are the adductor molecules that faithfully translate the information in mRNA into a specific sequences of amino acids. So transfer RNAs.
amino acid, amino acid.
Hey, Dada, acha, ठीक करिए.
So transfer RNAs is the adapter as a adapter molecules, and it translate the information that, for example, when gene has a something information and it carries and it will be transferred to the another gene. So this RNA is transferred from one gene to another is known as the transfer RNAs. Okay. In the
Yes, ma'am.
into
Okay.
into a not all genes, into a specific sequences of amino acids. So next is that nucleotides and nucleic acids have a characteristics, bases and pentose. So what is the basis and what is the pentose? So a nucleotide has a three characteristics components: a nitrogenous, like nitrogen containing base, a pentose, and one or more phosphatase.
One more. Positive.
Yes. The molecules without a phosphate group is called a nucleoside. The nitrogenous bases are derivatives of two parent compounds like pyrimidine and purine. The bases and pentose of the common nucleotides are heterocyclic compounds.
Phosphates.
What's a heterocyclic? What's a heterocyclic? What's the means of hetero?
Sorry, ma'am.
What's the means of hetero? Heterocyclic.
Sorry for this.
Okay. What's the mean of pent? Pentose. Okay. No problem, no problem. So just look at the structure.
Ma'am, pentose release the electron.
Pent comes from 5. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
5 carbon.
Hetero.
5 carbon.
Hetero.
6.
Hetero.
4 carbon, ma'am.
4. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. 4 carbon.
4 carbon.
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
carbon.
Yeah.
Mono, di, tri, hetero.
Right, you're right.
Hexa, hepta,
Hepta, octa, nano,
Octa.
deca.
Ma'am, Kiko, ma'am, forget this. Sometimes forget this.
All of you are the masters level. Oh.
No, ma'am, इतना पेशार,
No,
इतना
ma'am.
पेशार, सब कुछ बोल देता हूँ.
हम जॉब करेंगे तो इतना साइड
No
पे
problem, no problem, no problem. It takes time. सब सेट हो जाता है इंशाल्लाह ताला. मेहनत करो, सब सेट हो जाएगा.
इंशाल्लाह मैम.
इंशाल्लाह.
Okay. So
इंशाल्लाह मैम. Yeah.
आगे बढ़े अगर दर्स खत्म हो गया हो तो. Structure of nucleotides. So general structure here's a show A and B diagram 8.1. The structure of nucleotides. Okay.
Convention for the
What? इनकी एंट्री हमेशा लेट होती है. मैं आगे बढ़ जाती हूँ क्लास में.
उन्हीं में हमेशा लेट.
Okay. So structure of nucleotides. So general structure showing the numbering convention for the pentose ring. Just look at the nucleotide structure, general structure, the pentose ring. So there, this is the ribonucleotide. In deoxyribonucleotide, the OH group on the second carbon. Just look at the pentose structure.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes.
OH carbon is attached with the H. Okay. OH carbon is attached with the H. So in this is the second. The first one is replaced with the H. Okay.
Yes.
And the parent compound of the pyrimidine and purine base of nucleotides and nucleic acid showing the number convention. So this OH is the first, and the red which is mentioned with the red, it's the second OH, and it is the replacement with that hydrogen atom. Okay. So the basis of nucleotide is joined covalently in an N-beta glycosyl bond to the one carbon of the pentose, and the phosphate is esterified to the 5 carbon. The N-glycosyl bond is formed by removal of elements of water like the hydroxyl group. What is the hydroxyl group? In which the water is removed. The element of water is removed, which is the hydroxyl group from the pentose, and hydrogen from the base. So next is both DNA and RNA contain 2 major purines. This is the most important, and just highlight this one. Both DNA and RNA contains 2 major purine bases like adenine A and guanine G, and 2 major pyrimidines. In both DNA and RNA, one of the pyrimidines is cytosine C, but the second common pyrimidine is not the same in both. It is the thymine T in DNA and uracil U in RNA. Okay, so in DNA, adenine, just remember adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine.
Thymine.
Okay, adenine,
Guanine.
yes,
Cytosine.
Thymine.
good. So these bases are the purine
DNA.
bases
DNA.
present in the DNA. Good. And the RNA
Just uracil in
is the
RNA.
uracil in the RNA. Only occasionally does thymine occur in RNA. Occasionally, thymine occur in RNA or uracil in DNA. It's a rarely. Okay.
Yes,
Uracil in DNA.
It's a rarely that uracil is present in the DNA. And thymine, yes, and thymine is present in the RNA.
RNA.
Okay, it's a rarely, but the mostly uracil is present in RNA, and adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine is present in the DNA.
DNA.
So the structure of 5 major bases is shown 8.2. Okay, so just look at this structure:
Adenine,
adenine,
guanine,
guanine,
cytosine, thymine, uracil,
uracil, and these are the pyrimidines.
pyrimidine.
Okay. Purines, what is a purines? Only adenine and guanine are the purines.
Guanine.
Yeah. Adenine and guanine are the purines.
Purines. Cytosine, thymine, uracil is a pyrimidines.
Uracil is the another thing. Okay. Uracil, just kick out the uracil. Just remember 2 pyrimidines and purine. Okay. And in the purine, adenine and guanine is present in the purine, and cytosine and thymine is present in the pyrimidines.
Yes.
Okay.
समझ गया क्या मैं समझ
Okay, ma'am.
कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो पूछ लो भी.
जरूर नो मैम प्रॉब्लम नहीं है.
Any problem?
No, ma'am.
No.
No,
Should I
ma'am.
continue?
No, madam. No, madam.
Yes, counted.
So nucleic acids have 2 kinds of pentose. The recurring deoxyribonucleotide units of DNA contain
DNA.
2-deoxy D-ribose, and the ribonucleotide units of RNA
Deoxyderibose.
इसकी बड़ी जल्दी एंट्री होती है.
अनिमेशदा
Yeah.
কথা বললেন না.
Yeah,
No,
both
good,
seed.
good. You are a good student. Animesh, you are a good student.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
may
Yes.
ask many times, no problem. I'm here, I'm sitting here.
Kelebari
Okay, madam.
student.
Anytime. 24/7. So nucleic acids
Madam,
have
I am sick.
So nucleic acids have 2 kinds of pentose. Okay, the recurring deoxyribonucleic acid nucleotides units of DNA contain 2-deoxyribose,
Ribose.
and the ribonucleotides units of RNA contain D-ribose. Okay, so it means that deoxyribonucleotide is like a unit of DNA. Deoxyribonucleotide is the DNA. It contains 2-deoxyribose, oxy-D-ribose. Okay, and the ribonucleotides is the RNA, and it contains only D-ribose.
D-ribose.
Yes, just
Only
highlight
for
this one. Just highlight this one. In nucleotides, both type of pentose are in their B Fernose close 5 membrane.
Beta, madam. Beta na? Beta?
Yeah,
Madam?
beta Fernose.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's not important. And just to look at the table, 8.1 nucleotide nucleic acid nomenclature. Okay, so just learn this.
Purine.
Purines.
Purines,
Adenine, guanine.
yes, like adenosine, deoxyadenosine. Okay, and adenylate, deoxyadenylate.
RNA DNA is there.
RNA DNA. Okay.
Guanine.
Guanosine. Yes, and deoxyguanosine. Okay.
Deoxy.
And guanylate.
Guanosine.
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 Just look at the chart. Guanylate, it's a deoxyguanylate, RNA, DNA. Okay. Yes. Now comes to the pyrimidine, cytosine, thymine,
Cytosine.
cytidine. It's a cytidylate, RNA, and deoxycytidine, cytidylate, DNA. Okay. Understand?
Yeah.
Thymine.
And thymidine or deoxythymidine. Yes, deoxythymidine and thymidine is the another name. Okay, it's the same thing, the same structure, but it's the another name. Okay.
Okay.
And same structure.
And uracil is a uridine and uridylate.
Uridylate.
Yes.
RNA,
Okay.
okay.
Now comes to the next key convention. Although DNA and RNA seems to have two distinguished features, different pentose and the presence of uracil in RNA and thymidine in DNA, it is a pentose that uniquely defined the identifier of a nucleic acid. Okay, so here the uniquely defined. What is the unique or the unique factor? If the nucleic acid contains 2 deoxyribose, it is DNA by the definition. Even if contains uracil. Similarly, if the nucleic acid contains D-ribose, it is a RNA. Okay.
Okay.
And just look at this diagram. Next, like 8.3, 8.4.
Conformation of ribose.
8.4.
This 8.4, yes. So what do you think? Do you understand easily or not? Tell me. This structure मेहनत करना पड़ेगा. Okay. This is not included in your course. Okay.
Okay. बच गया.
Yes. जितना हो सकेगा फेवर दूंगी. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So now come. Okay, just look at this paragraph, figure 8.4. Give the structure and names of the 4 major deoxyribonucleotides, sometimes referred as a deoxynucleotides and deoxynucleosides triphosphate. The structural unit of DNA and the 4 major ribonucleotide phosphate nucleoside 5 monophosphates. This is the ribose structure.
Ribose.
Don't be scared, okay? Now come to the next. This is not included, okay?
ये भी नहीं है.
Okay.
खाली अश्विन शरब द खाली अश्विन.
हंसना भी माना है.
So although nucleotides bearing the major purine and pyrimidines are most common, both DNA and RNA also contain some minor bases. In DNA, the most common of these are methylated forms of the major bases. In some viral DNAs, certain bases may be hydroxymethylated or glycosylated. Altered, unusual bases in DNA molecules often have role in regulating or protecting the genetic information. Minor bases of many types are also found in RNA, especially in tRNA. This is simple. This nucleotides bearing the four major purines and pyrimidines, as we studied the above, that the most is the for DNA and RNA is some contain RNA also contains the minor bases and some is the major bases. Okay, just remember, you will have to just remember only the names. Okay, like methylcytidine, and inosine, inosine, and hydroxymethylcytidine. This is a ribose. Okay,
Okay.
ribose. This is RNA contain this. Okay, and adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine is contain like DNA.
Okay.
Okay, just remember, just learn these names, only names. Okay, I think it will be not difficult for you.
No, ma'am. बिल्कुल नहीं है.
কঠিন বোঝা কঠিন
Now come to the next. Cell also contain nucleotides with phosphate groups in the positions other than on the 5 carbon. Ribonucleosides 2, 3 cyclic monophosphates are isolatable intermediates and ribonucleosides. And end products of the hydrolysis of RNA by certain ribonucleosides. Other variations are adenosine, monophosphate, and guanosine, and 3,5 cyclic monophosphate.
এত
So,
কঠিন
দাদা জীবন তো শেষ হয়ে
কিছুই
যাবে.
তো বুঝি না এত কঠিন
so come to the next. Phosphodiester bond link successive nucleotide in nucleic acids. Okay. Okay. The successive nucleotides of both nucleotides. Here we are talking about the nucleotides. Like successive nucleotides of both DNA and RNA are covalently linked through phosphate groups. Is a bridge in which 5-phosphate group of one nucleotide unit is joined to the 3-hydroxyl group. What's the hydroxyl group? Like a OH group. Okay, so here's the 3-OH group. 3-OH is connected with the 5-phosphate. Okay,
Okay.
of the next nucleotides. Okay, like one nucleotide, this is a one nucleotide, this is a second nucleotide, and this is and the bridge is in between two nucleotides.
Linkage.
Yeah, linkage, and the linkage is consists of 5-phosphate and 3-hydroxyl group. Okay, 5-phosphate atoms, 5-phosphate and 3-hydroxyl like OHI. So 3-hydroxyl group of the next nucleotide creating a phosphodiester linkage. Phospho means it comes from phosphate and diester is come from hydroxyl group. Okay, so this is called as a phosphodiester linkage. Just highlight this one. Just highlight this one. That bridge in which 5-phosphate group of one nucleotide unit is joined or connected to the 3-hydroxyl group to the next nucleotide. Thus, the covalent backbones of nucleic acids consist of alternating phosphate and pentose residues, and the nitrogenous bases may be regarded as the side groups joined to the backbone at regular intervals. The backbone of both DNA and RNA are hydrophilic. The hydroxyl group of the sugar residue from hydrogen bonds with water, the phosphate group with pKa near zero, are completely ionized and negatively, and changed at the pH 7. The negative charges are generally neutralized by ionic interaction with positive charge or protein, metals, ions, and polyamides. Understand?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No?
No, no. There is.
Okay. So, covalent backbone of nucleic acid. Okay. What's the nucleic
Ma'am,
acid?
negative charge and positive charge.
Okay, negative and positive. So here is that the backbone of both DNA and RNA are hydrophilic. What's the hydrophilic? What's the hydrophilic?
Carrying of water, ma'am.
Presence of water. Okay. So the backbone of RNA and DNA is a hydrophilic, means the many water is present in that backbone. Okay. So their hydroxyl group. What's the hydroxyl group? Hydroxyl group is the OH group. It's just of the sugar amino acid. Here we are talking about the amino acids. So in the from the amino acid, sugar is comes from the amino acids. Okay. So sugar residues from hydrogen forms hydrogen bond with water. When sugar residues is formed and it form the hydrogen, it combines with the water. Okay. Understand?
Okay, ma'am.
Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
It's very difficult for me.
Yeah, we are understand.
So the phosphate group pKa near zero are completely in this. Just look at the structure. I think all of you are tired.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
I'm not tired.
Okay. So here's a phosphate group with pKa near zero or O. Okay, and completely and when any process delisses, so the ionization process is going on. So when anything is when ionized, so negatively charged at pH 5. So negatively charged is formed at pH 5 because here is a hydrogen bond is attached with the water. So here is a positive charge and also a negative charge. Okay. What is the positive charge? HN is the positive charge and OHN is the negative charge. When hydrogen bond is the H positive charge has the positive charge particles and the water is a OH
Negative charge.
negative. So now understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And negative charges are generally neutralized by ionic interaction with positive charge on proteins, metals, ions, or polyamides. When react with metals, so definitely hydrogen ions and OH ion are produced as you studied before in the previous classes. last semesters.
Maybe.
So come to the next. Just wait, please.
Okay, one is the silent like.
No, actually I forgot my glasses. So a covalent next comes to the next. The covalent backbone of DNA and RNA is subject to slow, non-enzymatic hydrolysis of phosphodiester bond. Okay. So is a covalent backbone of DNA and RNA subjected slow. Non-enzymatic means non-enzyme, no any enzyme is involved in this process. Okay. Non-enzymatic means I want a just positive response. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Not just say sure. You will have to do.
जो बुझेगा वही
फंसेगा. जो बोलेगा वही फंसेगा. अच्छा.
नहीं वो नहीं है.
Okay. Now, covalent backbone of DNA and RNA is subject to slow. It means non-enzymatic hydrolysis of the phosphodiester bond. In the test tube, RNA is hydrolyzed rapidly under alkaline condition. If you will take a RNA in the tube, so it will hydrolyzed rapidly. When alkaline condition, but the DNA is not. Why?
Condition.
But DNA not. Why? DNA will not hydrolyze in the alkaline condition. RNA is hydrolyzed rapidly. Why? Because the two hydroxyl group in RNA, two hydroxyl group means 2OH group. Two hydroxyl group is present in RNA, but it is absent in DNA.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am.
Yeah. Two hydroxyl group is present in RNA but absent in DNA, are directly involved in the process. Okay? So cyclic 2,3 monophosphate nucleotides are the first product of the action of alkali on RNA and are rapidly hydrolyzed further to yield a mixture of 2 and 3 nucleoside monophosphate. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Who is Maruf?
Maruf. Maruf.
Please, all of you are come on the cam.
তোমরা ক্যামেরা অফ করে রাখছো কেন?
All of you.
ক্যামেরা অফ কেন সবার?
মাহিদুল ইসলাম ক্যামেরা অন করেন। হিমেল ক্যামেরা অন কর। অনিমেষ দাদা, আব্দুল বাকির, মারুফ সবাই ক্যামেরা অন করো।
ম্যাম কিন্তু সবাইকে ক্যামেরা ওপেন করে থাকতে বলছে।
হ্যাঁ আমি তো দেখি।
তুমি আপনারটা দেখলে তো হবে না, আপনি দেখতে হবে না, আপনি অফ করে রাখলে হবে।
সৌরভ ভাই আমি কিন্তু অফিস থেকে বাসায় যাচ্ছি। হ্যাঁ
ওকে ওকে
ম্যাডাম বলেন, আমি তো এমনি অসুস্থ।
Okay.
এবার তুই বাসায় যাচ্ছিস ওরকম অন করে রাখ।
Okay, now come to the next. The
Ma'am, Maidul
nucleotides.
Islam is going to home, complete her office.
Okay.
Then
So please,
camera off.
it's a time I will have to complete this one. So the nucleotide sequences of the nucleic acid can represent it schematically and illustrated below by segment of DNA with 5 nucleotide units. The phosphate groups are symbolized like P, okay, and each deoxyribose is symbolized here by a vertical line from C1. Okay, at the top to C5 at the bottom.
Vertical line.
Just look at this diagram. But keep in your mind that sugar is always it in closed ring beta furnos form in nucleic acid. Okay, so the connecting line between nucleotides which pass through P, this is the line, yeah, phosphate from the middle, C3, this is the C3. So of the deoxyribose of one nucleotide of the bottom C5 is the next. Okay, the conclusion is that the sequence of a single strand of nucleic acid is always written like 5:3 and 3:5. Okay,
Yes, yes.
ওকে ম্যাম।
yeah, the DNA structure in which you have seen like a nucleic acid sequence is like 5:3 or 3:5. Okay, so sequence is a single strand nucleic acid is always written like 5, and at the left 5 is always present at the left side, NT of left, and 3 is always at the end of right. So this is the direction of 5:3. Okay, this comes from the left towards the right. A short nucleic acid referred to as an oligonucleotide. The definition of short is somewhat arbitrary, but polymers containing 50 or fewer nucleotides are generally called oligonucleotides. Okay, a longer nucleic acid is called a polynucleotide.
No, polymer contain 15 nucleotide.
Sorry,
Polymer contain 15 nucleotide.
yeah, it's a long.
Long chain
Poly
process.
means no, not
Long
only
chain
50.
process.
Yeah, like longer, it's a sequences that it is situated in the same plane. Okay, in the same direction, it's the same plane. Whether DNA or RNA, both are located on the same plane. But the difference is their components or their bases. Okay, the major difference is their bases like guanine, cytosine, adenine, and thymine. It is present in the DNA and it is not present, and the uracil is present in the RNA. Okay, this is the major difference. So both of them are located at the same line, same draw, at the same element. You can say at the same sequences. Okay, so here is a longer nucleic acid chain. You can't, maybe it may be 500, it may be 50, it may be 40, you can't imagine. So it is a polynucleotides. Okay, means poly means many,
greater than 50.
and 50 no, but polymers containing only 50 or few, then generally for the oligonucleotides, but it may be extended from the 50, so it will be called a polynucleotides. Okay,
Yes.
now we will continue tomorrow. Okay, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay,
Inshallah.
we will continue tomorrow. Okay,
Yes,
tell me,
yes.
all of you will be free at 12 afternoon according to Pakistani time.
12. No, ma'am.
Hmm?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, we will continue inshallah.
3 or 3:50 or 4 p.m.
Okay. Okay, tell me who is Maruf?
Ma'am, he is our classmate.
Hmm?
Maruf
Kila
kya hai?
shesh.
Maruf ke? Hey, Maruf.
Maruf?
Camera
Nahi
off
tumhara.
can ma'am.
Is a classmate?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Maruf?
Madam, I am sick, very sick.
No problem, no problem. I am also. Okay,
Ma'am,
so yes.
all जितना क्लास करेगा सबके बायोमोलिकुल्स भी है और कुछ है
सीधे सीधे बताना
We
तेरे को
will
एग्जाम देना है
এই টপিক্স এর নাম কি? টপিক্স আজকে কি টপিক্স?
this topic's name biomolecules, right?
বায়োমলিকুলস।
this is the last topic in this chapter.
Biomolecules last topics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next class.
And it will no. Next class I will continue this, and inshallah ta'ala I will wind up this chapter.
Tomorrow our next class biomolecules.
Yes.
Maybe.
We will continue this.
Yeah. So then enzyme and biophysical technique.
We will talk after next class. Okay.
Microbiology and cell biology. Okay.
Okay. Don't take any tension. Just relax and chill.
Ma'am, I have a question and your opinion.
Hmm?
Can you, ma'am, tomorrow? ABC tomorrow কথা বলেगा आज नहीं है
I can get your point.
Ma'am, what's your COVID situation in country?
I can't understand what are you saying. Okay,
Ma'am,
I will talk you tomorrow. Okay, inshallah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
We
you.
will discuss. Okay.
Okay,
ma'am.
Yeah. Inshallah.
Thank you,
Allah
ma'am.
Just revise this chapter. Okay. Okay. Walaikum salam.
Okay, ma'am.
Percentage?
attendance
Present,
Sorry?
madam, present?
হয়ে গেছে দাদা হয়ে গেছে
This আমারটা দিয়ে দিয়েছে?
What?
আরে দাদা দিছে রে
Okay.
I have written your name, Manimesh. No problem. Okay, don't worry.
Okay, madam. Okay.
Okay, now this.
তোরা বেটা বুঝছ না কি কস কি না কস আল্লাহই জানে আর তোরা ভালো জানোস যা শুরু করছস ম্যাডামের লগে
আপনি কি শুরু
আপনি পুরাই কমেডি ভাই
শুনেন শাকিন দা,
অনিমেষ দাদা একটা ভিডিও কল দেখি জন্য বুঝি না তো
আর গ্রুপে ক্লাস শুরু হলে আপনি গ্রুপে ভিডিও কল দেন কে বুঝি না তো
মানে যে কই থাকি ভাই ওয়ার্করুমে থাকি না কই থাকি বুঝি না কিছু পিসিআর ল্যাবে থাকি না কই দেয় কালেকশনে থাকি ঠিক নাই যেখানে বিদ্যুৎ ওরে আমরা ঠিক করে ভাই কল দিছে
শুনেন আমার তো দুঃখ রে
না এটা হচ্ছে ম্যাডামের
শুনেন পূজা, আপনি আমার একটু খবর না লই পারলেন, আমার এত বড় অপারেশন হইলো একটা খবর না লই পারলেন কোম্পানি
আপনার যে অপারেশন করার পরে যে ডিসকাউন্টটা দিচ্ছে এটা আমার কথা বলে ডিসকাউন্ট সেটা জানেন?
কি ডিসকাউন্ট?
আপনি অপারেশন করার পর যে ডিসকাউন্টটা পাইছেন ওটা আমার মাধ্যম দিয়ে পাইছেন সেটা জানেন? প্রধানমন্ত্রীকে
discount?
বলেছিলাম।
ভাই কিচ্ছু উনি না ভাই।
এ হালার পুতা একটু কথা ঠিক করে না।
ক্লাস তো শেষ ভাই।
এই শোনেন, ম্যাডাম গেছে অনলাইন থেকে গেছে ম্যাডাম।
ওকে।
ম্যাডাম কি গেছে অনলাইন